and welcome back to The Drag Detective, where today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I asked you all on my Instagram to give me your favorite Drag Race conspiracy theories, and I thought today we could go through some of your guys' responses and I could give my opinions on whether I believe the conspiracy theory has some value, has some merit, there's something that you're onto, or whether it's nothing more than a theory with no real validity to it, and it should probably stay off of the Drag Race icebergs. So why don't we just dive right on into some of your theories. Okay, so the first one is Global All-Stars and Versus the World are set up in a way that the winner can only ever be from the US or the host country. I think this is a legitimate theory. I think that when it comes to Drag Race, it is, at the end of the day, about making money for a lot of people. That is why you make television shows. That is what the network is looking for. And, you know, it probably started out on logo as let's just have some fun or whatever, but it's become a global phenomenon. It is there's so many different corporations. World of Wonder now has a record label for some people from Drag Race. They have DragCon. They have all of these things that are marketed for just people who watch this show. So there's kind of a lot on the line. And I think it is in the best interest of World of Wonder, of MTV, of BBC to try and make sure that the people who leave this show have the best chance of becoming huge stars. Because you have the Trixie Mattels, you have the Bianca Del Rios, you have the Jinx Monsoons. They are always going to be coming back to be doing things for WoW, whether that be the pit stop as the host or as a guest. There's so many different ways they can come do the finale like Jinx Monsoon did for season 15 and perform. There's so many ways you can get these people back onto your show or the, many different adjacent shows that are Drag Race related. And that is in the best interest of the company because that's going to bring their fans that maybe didn't find them just from Drag Race. There's so many people who just watch Trixie's YouTube channel because she's a makeup guru and don't really give a shit about Drag Race. There's theater fans who are obsessed with, Jinx Monsoon being on Broadway, but really don't know about her being on Drag Race. But if they come and do a show like The Pit Stop, they might pull in some viewers that maybe weren't watching Drag Race previously. This is all to say that I think for whoever the home country is, whether it's the US, whether it's Canada, whether it's the UK versus the worlds, it is in their best interest to crown someone who has some of the best chances of becoming a global phenomenon, because that means they're just going to be coming back to your franchise for other things. So Versus the World, Blue Hydrangea has won on UK, and then Tia Coffee won on season 2. Both of them are able to do things with BBC now, and it's just bringing more viewers and money back to the BBC. Tia Coffee, I can for sure see having some kind of show or being featured on BBC content. Blue Hydrangea just literally toured the world with the Frock Destroyers. They are good people to give a crown to because they are going to bring money and opportunities to the BBC. Canada versus the World did crown Raja O'Hara, and that is kind of the anomaly here. That's the one that doesn't really fit the bill. But it's not like Raja can't come and guest judge like she did on Canada's Drag Race, and people are going to go watch Raja be on Canada's Drag Race now. So I think in general, it is smart for these countries to give somebody the win who is going to bring people back to whatever platform they're on. So whether that be the BBC, whether that be Crave, whether that be MTV. That's what makes me nervous about Global All-Stars, because will the US queen just win because she's going to bring the most value worldwide versus someone from maybe, let's say, Sweden or Germany who not as many people know, so if they win the season, there's not going to be as much of a oh, we need to bring this queen back and have them do a bunch of stuff for us. So that's just a concern for me with Global All-Stars. It was a concern for me with UK versus the World and Canada versus the World. It's something to think about, you know what I mean? Because Drag Race isn't just a TV show. It is a corporation at this point. There are so many people on the payroll for Drag Race now that it has to be about the money for them. I guess that is kind of a glib way of looking at it, but that's just the reality of living in a fucking capitalist society. So let's find another one. Let's do this one. I low-key think that every All-Star season was made for a certain winner except 6. So season 6 of All-Stars was won by Kylie, and it's one of those seasons where there isn't really a clear, front runner for it. All-Stars 1, we all said it was made for Chad. All-Stars 2 was made for Alaska. All-Stars 3 was made for Trixie. All-Stars 4, I think, was not made for anyone in particular. And there's a couple theories in here that we can kind of add into this one of All-Stars 4 was made for Latrilla to win, and that's why we got the double crowning. I'm not so sure about the Latrilla winning. I think personally it would be short-sighted to go in with only one winner option. And, you know, there is some seasons where there is like kind of one queen who's kind of above everybody else. But I think if you look at all of these seasons, there is always another option that I really do think could have been crowned. It's not like out of the realm of possibility that they would be crowned. All-Stars 1 really was, I think, because of the way that it went and the fact that Team Shad won, 3 of the 5 challenges, Chad was the only viable winner there. I don't think they would be against crowning Raven or Jujubee at that time. Season 2, I think that they 1000% would have given the crown to Detox. If Alaska, as she said, didn't have that tantrum, the producers didn't see her as a winner, I think Detox would have won All-Stars 2. Sorry, Katya fans. I think Detox would have won All-Stars 2. All-Stars 3, Ben de la Creme was winning until she went home. You know what I mean? I think that they definitely wanted Trixie to make it to the end. They saw her as a viable winner option. But Ben de la Creme was winning that season unless she went home the way that she did. And Trixie probably would have been in that top 2 with her at the end of the season, but Trixie would not have won if Ben was still there. All-Stars 5, I think if not for Shay, Jujubee, I for sure could have seen them giving her the crown. All-Star 7, and knowing what we know now, thanks to Drag Tea Served with Matt's interview with Evie, it was just going to be Jinx. It was just going to be Jinx the entire time. And I highly recommend watching, if not the full interview with Evie, a couple of his like shorter clips that he posted where she was talking about the All-Star 7 reunion and, you know, things behind the scenes. It was just kind of like very eye-opening. And I feel, you know, right in saying that All-Star 7 is not a good season. And I feel like I will be on the right side of history by saying that, you know, for what, 3 years now. All-Stars 8 is the one that I'm kind of like, I think it was Jimbo. I don't know who else on that season could potentially win. I don't think they would give the win to Candy Muse because she is so polarizing. I don't think they expected Jessica Wilde to like pop off with the fans as much as she did. But I also think All-Stars 8 is a weird kind of anomaly of a season where they didn't pick that cast. They ended up with that cast. That is the only people that said yes to being on that season. So it's not like they were able to kind of handpick and cherry pick, ooh, well, we put this person on, then we have an option for this. And if we put this person, no, that is just the people who were willing to show up. So I think that's kind of an outlier here. And that was another one. I mean, there's a lot of these theories that like, oh, Jimbo was set up to win All-Stars 8. Oh, Shay was set up to win All-Stars 5. So I'm kind of lumping all those in to one video. But I do think that with All-Stars 4, I don't think that they were going to do a double crowning from the start. I think it was always an option. I think that if they did end up with Latrilla top 2, they 1000% could, like, would have taken the bait and done a double win with those 2. But that's putting a lot of eggs into Latrilla's baskets. I think Manila, they for sure wanted to crown. I think Latrice, they definitely also did want to crown. But there were plenty of other people that they loved. Like Trinity got some, you know, special treatment on that season and was a huge presence. Someone that WoW, I think, would have been dumb to not see as a viable option to win. So I don't think that All-Stars 4 was made for Latrilla. I don't think that a lot of these seasons are made just for one queen. But I do think that they go in with very few options of who they would crown. I think 1 or 2 or potentially 3 max are the people that they definitely go in and are like, we would give this person a crown. So that's just my opinion on that, though. Let me know what you think in the comments. So this one says, Bible Girl was an alternate for one of the 4 NYC contestants on season 9. I don't believe that one. Not for a goddamn second. That would never happen. Okay, producers post spoilers, fake ones as well, to see people's reactions and perhaps make some win/elim changes. So this one, as someone who was a spoilerina, I stopped last year, have not read any spoilers since season 15 ended. Or I guess All-Stars 8. All-Stars 8 ended. There are always spoilers that are 1000% right, and there are spoilers that are 1000% wrong. And I do believe that with so many people working on a program, stuff is going to get out. There's just no way around it. You know, they have handlers, they have editors, they have lighting and gaffers and things like that, that like at least every season, at least one person is going to leak something. So I think to combat that, they do leak spoilers that are fake. I fully personally believe that. I think that they give the job to someone who's been on production for a while, and they're like, you need to go hop into one of these spoiler arenas DMs and tell them all these fake spoilers, and then those will get pushed. Because as long as there's a bunch of different options, you don't really know which one is going to be real. You know what I mean? Like, we would always start the season and there would be like the T-checker of like, you know, all these different things from like 20 different people. And you just have to guess, well, this person is mostly accurate. This person has, you know, been right in the past. Da, da, da. You kind of can sort of figure out what you think could be right. But there's so many options of things that could happen that like, you're not going in like, oh, this is 1000% the season, cool, let's move on. There's always like a, but this one could be right this season, or maybe this person had like bad info this season. I think that it would be stupid if production is not putting out fake spoilers. I think at this point they 1000% should be, and I think that they are. And whatever production member leaked the like, you know, the Vixen doing gravity-defying death moves while Aquaria was stripping on the judges panel, I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, production watches Drag Race creators and steals some ideas, e.g. Canada Season 4 and All-Star 7. So as we know, the beaver, the golden beaver format was something that the internet had been pushing for years. I used that same format in a fantasy season that I used in like 2018. I think it was 2018, back when this channel was not The Drag Detective. It was, I think, Drag Race Statistics. So that has been circling the internet for a long, long time, and people have been wanting that for a long, long time. So, like, it's not that they're necessarily stealing it from anyone in particular, it's just kind of like the internet being like, hey, you should do this, and them finally wising up and being like, fine, let's try it. And guess what? It was iconic. People had talked about doing a non-elimination winner season, or just a non-elimination All-Stars. All-Star 7 happens. I think that, yeah, they definitely are listening to what fans are saying. Just like how content creators on YouTube, like, we're going through our comment sections and seeing potential video ideas, and we're like storing that in the back of our heads, like, oh, that could be cool. And then maybe we'll use it down the line. If you're putting out content and you're reading the feedback, eventually you're going to be getting ideas, and like sometimes they're really good ideas, so why wouldn't you use them? And I think that production definitely does that. They read what we are saying. Do they always implement what we want? No. Maybe they should a little bit more. But if someone in the boardroom of Canada's Drag Race is like, I came up with that golden beaver idea all on my own, I'd say you are lying. You never lied so much in your life. That was from like 2016 on Reddit or Tumblr. Get over yourself. You definitely took that from the internet, and that's okay. So this one is kind of like an iconic conspiracy that a lot of people have talked about. The jury twist in All-Stars 3 let production not crown BB twice, but also not eliminate the first winner. And that's 1000% correct. There was the whole like mole theory when she was on, because it was just kind of weird to have like one winner on a season with a bunch of non-winners. And I think that for sure the jury twist was to make it so that BB didn't get eliminated by Ru. She was just kind of like not chosen to be in the top 2 of the season. It's like great for BB, it's great for Ru, it's great for production. It doesn't tarnish her reputation. It doesn't, you know, make people upset at WoW for like getting rid of the winner. It's like, you can have people to blame and it's not production. And it's not BB for not doing, you know, the best job. Because I think if they like counted who actually should have been the top 2 based on track record, I think it was BB and Shangela. So it's like everybody wins. BB gets to make it to the entire end of a season and then not have to get worried about like getting cut. But also production doesn't have to like crown the same person twice. It was just like worked out for everyone involved. And I think that was a smart idea. I don't think it worked because like not only BB was affected by this, but I think it was like one of the smartest things they could have done to alleviate the potential like messiness of that situation. But like having to like either crown a winner or not crown a winner. Okay, hosts like Nikki and Pangina won't come back because they know so many secrets. And that's why Pangina's hair is so big. You know, I disagree with this one. I think that on each production of Drag Race, it is a little different like vibe. I think that on every set of Drag Race, you know, whether it be the set of Thailand, the set of France, the set of US, UK, Germany, Sweden, whatever, it's not always going to be exactly the same. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that the production on US is like probably 2 times as big as production on some of these other ones. And it's not like it's the same people working on all these sets. I'm sure they might carry over like a couple people, maybe, probably not even, to be honest. They're probably like everyone on the set of Drag Race France is a French citizen. I don't think that they're having like the gaffer from US going over to France and then going over to UK. It's probably a different production team on all of these sets. So it's not like the people on Drag Race Thailand know all the production secrets from US. I'm assuming. Maybe in the beginning when there was only 1 or 2 franchises besides US, but at this point it's like there's so many of them. They probably all have their own secret tea. They have their own like dirty little secrets, and they're not all going to be knowing each other's tea. So I think that Pangina and Nikki could come back, and I don't think it would be like, you know, sus that like they know too much or whatever. I think they might not want to come back for other reasons, like, you know, maybe tarnishing your reputation or things like that. But I think that it wouldn't be just because they like know too much, personally. Okay, this one is one of my favorite, like, potentially conspiracy theory moments of the franchise. Production paid Monet to lose the Into You lip sync so Valentina can have her Ariana redemption. So thinking back to All Stars 4, it's the 2nd episode. Pheromone is in the bottom and Valentina is in the top 2, and she's lip syncing to Into You by Ariana Grande. Now, Valentina iconically flopped her previous Ariana Grande lip sync to Greedy, so this is like a big redemption moment. Like, 1, can she lip sync to an Ariana Grande song? 2, is she gonna send home Pheromone? Maybe she really doesn't love her. So there's like all of these things that like so perfectly happen to line up. And then you have her against Monet Exchange, one of the greatest, most consistent lip syncers on Drag Race, as we've seen on her original season, as we've seen on All Stars 7, but we didn't see on All Stars 4. Monet lip synced 4 times on All Stars 4, to my knowledge, I think 4. 2 of them were fantastic. 2 of them were not. And Into You was one of the ones that was not. And I've said for many, many years that I think production said, Monet, we will give you the money for winning this lip sync, but you need to tank it. You cannot win this lip sync. We need Valentina to get her, you know, Ariana Grande Into You redemption. Her sending home Pheromone, it's just too good for storyline. Monet, can you please flop this lip sync? And we'll pay you for it. And I would 1000% believe that. And Monet is smart enough to be like, you know, if I play ball, they're going to want me around because I'm someone who will play ball. I should do this. But, you know, upon further reflection, there are some other potential options. One of them of why Monet just did not do good in this lip sync. Because it's not like it's not a song she can't do. It's not like, you know, she was sick or something. Like, she just didn't do well for no reason. Part of me thinks that she might have thrown it because she didn't want to send someone home this early. But this is kind of like shaky because it was so obvious who would have went home. It was Monique versus Farrah, and Monique had just won the episode prior and Farrah had just been in the bottom. So it was a very easy elimination, really getting no blood on your hands. And she ends up winning a lip sync 2 episodes later, or 3 episodes later, with a much harsher decision when it's Monique and Trinity and Valentina and Naomi all in the bottom. So that's a little bit shaky, but it's an option. Maybe she's like, I don't want to win this early a lip sync. I don't want to like be this huge threat. It's potential. But also maybe Monet saw the storyline that was in front of her that, hey, Valentina could win this and then send home Pheromone and that would make everybody happy. And I also don't have to get blood on my hands. So maybe it was like partly her trying to play ball, but also not wanting to be a threat. Like there's definitely like some options. I will say if production was like, we'll give you $15,000 to throw this lip sync, and she's like, deal, that would not shock me. That wouldn't shock me at all. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. So that one, you know, we will never probably know unless Monet decides to like come clean. But that's one of those conspiracy theories that I 1000% believe in. Okay, many queens have gotten guaranteed spot in the finale written into their contracts. I disagree with this one. I think that there are so many factors that go into Drag Race. The Sherry Pie situation, the Gigi Good situation. People quit like Heidi in Closet. So I just think that life is too unpredictable to do something like write in a contract that you will be a finalist. Because who knows what's going to happen? They could get into a physical fight. They could, break the rules. There's just too many things that could potentially, like, make that really, really seedy and messy. I don't think that they do that. I think that they definitely, in their minds, are like, this person is a finalist. And if you are seeing how things are going around you, and you're one of those people, you might be able to tell that, like, I think production wants me, to stay to the end. But I don't think that they're going in with negotiations like Sasha Colby, who is coming in with a huge name. And they're like, so you will be a finalist. We will be putting that in your contract. I don't think they do that, because what if Sasha Colby ended up being a fucking nightmare human? She would never. But, like, imagine in a parallel universe where Sasha Colby is, like, the mystique of drag. That would be a nightmare. And then they're stuck with her as a finalist if they need to disqualify her, or like she's being a disaster and they're like, let's just get rid of her, or she sucks, or she's not good at the competition. What are they gonna do? So that's why I don't think that they put it in writing like that, where there truly is, like, there's nothing you can do. Unless they add in a bunch of clauses, which is just like more work than is needed. Just pick your favorites and send them there. You don't need to put it in writing. Or maybe they say, like, we would love to see you in that finale, and leave it at that. I just feel like that's easier, and like it gets less messy. Okay, let's do one more for this video, and I have so many left. I'm just gonna do a part 2. So next week, I will do this same video again with a bunch more, and I'll put on my Instagram like another thing where you can send in more if you want to. If you missed the first thing and you want to send in one later, we'll do that. The last one for today is Jinx and Raja were the only 2 queens who WoW were ever going to let win All-Star 7. I agree with half of that. I think Jinx Monsoon is the only queen that production was going to let win All-Star 7. Based on what we've just heard from Evie, and based on Evie's tea, Jinx agrees. So, like, I just feel like that was one of those seasons where I think that there would have been a lot of disappointment if anybody but Jinx Monsoon won. And I think that for someone to carry the mantle of Queen of All Queens, someone like Jinx is just perfect for it. She's wholesome. She is universally beloved. She is getting opportunities off the wazoo already. Imagine what she could do with this afterwards. I just think she was the perfect conglomeration of everything WoW wanted for their first Queen of All Queens. And just based on how the season went, I don't think that there was ever somebody else. I think it was always just Jinx. I think they wanted to prop up queens like Raja, who has, done so much for WoW over the years, which is why they rigged it so that she won. The She Done Already Done had hers as part of it. I think they wanted to prop up Shea Coulee, who's someone else who has had so many opportunities, has been such a staple and a face of the franchise, and same with Monet. I think that those are the ones they really wanted to prop up, and throw Trinity in there too. Those are the 5 that production was like, we need to make sure that they're leaving with, with wins, with, the fandom loving them, all of these things. But Jinx, I think, was the only true winner potential for production for All-Star 7. So let me know what you think about my opinions on these conspiracy theories, on whether you think some of them are true or whether you think they're all horseshit. Look for my Instagram story. I'll be putting up another thing where you can throw in some of your conspiracy theories and we can talk about them in part 2, which will be coming next week. And also very soon, we will be having a collab with one of my favorite YouTubers. So get ready for that. And thank you all so much for watching. If you would like to donate to our Drag Duel Season 2 Indiegogo, there's only a couple days left for that. Season 2, we are like in round 3 right now, and it is really fun, and this cast is iconic, and we're getting so many good looks and challenges. So if you want to help us with our production of that, please go donate. I would really, really, really appreciate it. And I've had people in, my comments and stuff saying, or in my DMs, what's the best way to support you? Right now, it's that. Right now, it is that Indiegogo. So if you want to support me at all, that is the best way. It will be linked right in the description below. And we're so close to 75. I think after this video, I might hit it. Like this video or the next, I think we're gonna hit it. So I'm getting stuff ready for my getting into drag video, but I'm not just going to be getting into drag. We're going to be doing something a little bit extra special for that. So be on the lookout for that in the next probably month or so. That video is going to take a while to put together and to edit and all of that. So it is coming. I am doing it. but just give me a little bit. But I think that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.